You are the resistance.
I'm Christopher Titus, people, and tiredly, this is the Armageddon update. Well, the Republicans have thrown in the towel, it looks like. Yeah, they have realized that nothing they have ever done or tried. What am I saying? They've never tried anything. And the only thing they've done is give billionaires more billions and started a war to distract from the pedo president and his suicided best buddy. Release the files! Sweet Potato Hitler and more than a few of his obscenely unqualified gang of henchmen and villains know they are in trouble in the midterms. I mean, unless Elon does his magic with the voting machines. And again, people, we unbelievably happen to have down ballots in all these districts full of Democrats, yet somehow they voted for President Schitzenpansen at the top of the ticket. You go, Elon!
He knows those computers better than anybody.
So because Republicans don't have a plan,
I have concepts of a plan,
or an idea, or an insight into immigrants in a country full of immigrants, they have gone to the mattresses from the 50s. Yep!
Even if there are only one communist in the State Department, that would still be one communist too many.
They're calling all the Democrats communists again. Even though Donorrhea Trump, shout out to Mark Hamill, great name, dude,
Impressive.
is friends and wrote love letters to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-il.
and we would go back and forth, and then we fell in love. Okay?
You know, communists. Now, they don't want communism for themselves in those countries, just the people they step on. Because here's a normal Russian home, and here's Putin's home. Yeah, that seems fair.
I love it.
Here's how scared the Republicans are of losing the midterms.
The communists. Communism.
So let's talk about that. What is communism and socialism, and what the hell do we have? Well, currently, in our current form in America, we have, and the clinical term is, a shit show. Yet, to distract from the absolute bereft, incompetent, evil, fuck the poor, fuck the veterans, and fuck you if you don't agree with them, farmers lost all their contracts again, and billionaires got tax breaks, and the people went broke paying tariffs. So now that they know they have screwed healthcare, gas prices, grocery, and housing, while at the same time starting an illegal war and violating the law by hiding the files from the worst pedophile in recent history. So what's their go-to to distract from all this incompetence? The Dems are communists!
Look, we live in dangerous times. We're fighting communism on our own shores.
Communism is on the ballot this November.
That's it. Look, people, we live in a capitalist country, and arguably, when it was at its best, was post-World War II, when Eisenhower, a Republican, built the interstate highway system. Taxes on the ultra-rich were 90% on profits over $200,000, which is about $2 million today. And that was before deductions. So the effective tax rate the ultra-rich paid was between 42 and 52%. But Reagan dropped that to 28%, basically cutting corporate and ultra-rich taxes in half. In fucking half. I wonder why the deficit exploded like a Hamas-issued pager. Yeah, not your taxes, though. Your taxes didn't get cut. Just the rich and the corporations. It was supposed to trickle down, like a golden shower. And we never even got that. In a 50-year study done by Oxford, trickle-down economics created more billionaires while the poor got poorer. People, Reagan closed mental care facilities, creating our homeless problem. He actually killed education. And now stupid people think the earth is flat and science kills you. And here we are, where after tax havens and deductions, the country's wealthiest pay between 1 and 8% in taxes, while you pay 36% federal and 6 to 13% in state taxes. Yeah, you pay between 40 and 52%, while Elon Musk last year paid less than 4%. Yeah, being the land of the free sure costs a fucking lot, unless you own the land of the free. Then you can keep the poor uneducated and just surviving on a minimum wage that hasn't changed in 15 years, while Zuckerberg builds another yacht to sail to his bunker in Hawaii. Yeah, it's not immigrants, people. It's not Antifa. It's not the socialists, and it's not even the imaginary communist boogeyman.
I'm your boogeyman. That's what I am.
The actual boogeyman owns planes, yachts, and companies. The system is rigged to keep you just scared enough, just poor enough to continue accepting the low-cost slavery that made them obscenely rich. Then they fight healthcare, so the terminal disease that eats your body and your bank account is all that's left. Rinse and repeat. And the sickest thing is some of the poorest people in this country are standing up and fighting for the wealthiest. The same billionaires that would crush them under the Lamborghini SUV without even blinking. Sorry. Their driver will do the crushing. Yeah, they can't get their hands dirty. In fact, go buy a new car just for crushing the peasants. Make sure it's a domestic brand. We don't want to dirty the Lambo. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Fuck, man. It's so weird when you look at it. Every time the Republicans are in charge, fucking poor people just keep getting raped over and over and over. And then they keep telling us, oh no, we gotta get raped like this because we go to communism, socialism, it's worse. Except we've never done that and never will. Hey everybody, Christopher Titus, Armageddon Updates. Titus Podcast with me, the lovely Rachel Bradley.
What's up, people?
We've got 2 dogs, one puppy who's annoying the older dog. And
we also have these bags under my eyes again.
Oh, man, I will tell you, climate change has created a nightmare of allergies. Between you and Ken, I keep waiting for like one of your heads to just explode.
I'm back on antibiotics again.
And steroids.
Yeah, I did steroids, but they won't let me do those again. She said that was dangerous, but
it was dangerous because I was getting my ass kicked on a daily.
I was like,
the sexy Hulk.
1 week in between, and I'm back on antibiotics. Antibiotics is another one of those words that I figured out that I say in a Southern way because I voice to text.
I like antibiotics.
My phone types antibiotics, ANA, which is that a word?
Antibiotics.
Have to. You don't have to. HAFF.
So here's what's happened in the last couple of weeks, and I really started to notice it.
Okay.
The GOP has got to the point where they don't have anything working.
Period. You could have just said.
Yeah. See, they got nothing. So, but here's the thing about that, and I want to point something out. And I was thinking about it driving yesterday, and I thought, oh, that's the truth. So. We have a president who was best friends with a pedophile. Jeffrey Epstein called Trump one of the most dangerous people he's ever known or met, but also said he was my best friend for 15 years.
He said over 10. But hold on. Say that again.
Jeffrey Epstein said
who
Donald,
we now know to be who?
one of the most evil human beings probably to walk the planet for a while. Ever.
No.
Right.
Okay.
He said that Donald Trump was one of the most evil human beings he's ever known or met. Right. And that's the president. So here's what I want to say. Let's just start basically. So we got a president who is tearing down the White House without congressional approval. He started a war without Congress. He actually is putting people in charge of huge agencies without any congressional approval for 120 days because he can do it interim. And then we've got all the other shit he's done. Again, tear down the White House, fucked up the reflecting pool, ruined America's 250th birthday.
Venezuela,
Iran, Ukraine. Let's just go all the dumb shit he does on a daily basis. However, they were ordered by law, by Congress, to release the entire Epstein files unredacted. And they haven't yet. So here's what this means if you continue to support this man. And this, I'm going to talk about the Republican, everybody, a Republican in office right now. That means every single Republican is pro-pedophile. You are pro-rape. You are pro-corruption. You are pro-skimming the system for as much money as possible. You are pro-fucking the people over on the daily. You're pro-giving billionaires even more billions. You're basically anti-everybody but you. If you voted Republican, you are the same. You are pro-pedophile. You are pro-corruption. You are actually pro-rape. You are pro-ignorance. And you are definitely pro-illiteracy. And, here's what you are anti-science. Fuck. So we are to the point now.
I feel like that lacks a lot of
it
nuance.
Doesn't. But
I mean, look, I know that I certainly
How does that lack nuance?
I certainly now think that and I said this to you yesterday, as deep as we are into this, and we bear the responsibility to research what's happening, to know what's going on in our government, what they are or aren't doing, bills they're passing, wars they're involving us in. But
money they're spending.
I think that a lot of people, especially on that side, vote just because it's Republican and that's it. I think that you overestimate the reading that a lot of those people do.
No. I don't overestimate it. Actually, I agree with you. I agree with you that they actually aren't paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is, here's what you're voting for. Here's.
This was like a PSA.
Yeah. This is what you.
Okay.
This is what you voted for.
I will accept
you
that.
also voted for an insurrection. You also are pro-treason. So that's when you vote Republican and go, I don't know, man, I just vote this way, that way. Republicans always do better. But here's what I don't quite get. If you go down the history of what Republicans have done, every time, all the way back to Eisenhower, all the way back to Eisenhower, every time a Republican runs things, the economy crashes, or the GDP stops, or we have a recession. Every time a Democrat's in, the GDP goes up, like it beats it by a lot. And we don't have a recession, and everybody makes more money every time a Democrat is in. So when you look at the stats, the problem is that people would have to face their racism. What are you laughing at? What?
Only one recession has ever started under a Democratic president since World War II.
Yep.
They've all been under Republican presidents. Yep. It was a 6-month downturn in 1980 under Jimmy Carter. Historically, U.S. recessions and economic contractions have begun under Republican administrations, with Democrats generally inheriting the resulting recovery periods. I would argue not inheriting a recovery period.
Yeah.
I would argue it hit the shitter, and
the voters went, what the fuck? Vote for that guy. Why?
Democrats pulled it out. Yeah.
They pulled it out, but Obama pulled it out.
Yes, he did.
Clinton pulled it out.
Mm-hmm.
And Biden pulled it out. Oh my God, Biden got us all vaxxed. And there was someone that was, I wrote something about how dumb these people are about science and vaccines. And some guy went off about how many people, 90% of the deaths were 100% due to the COVID vaccine. And all I did literally took me 30 seconds.
Wait, did you read?
I looked up 10 different studies, posted 3, and I go, and it's not like studies. Bob did his own research.
The Daily Mail.
It's not that. It's actually the Lancet. It's actually Oxford.
Science?
It's actually UCLA.
Science?
It's actually it's MIT.
To be specific, because y'all be in the comments. Budget deficits relative to the size of the economy were lower on average for Democratic presidents. 10 of the 11 U.S. recessions between 1953 and 2020 began under Republican presidents.
So 90% plus of all the recessions started under Republicans. Then Democrats fixed it.
I know that people think that you will just hardline Democrat, but I just wanted to point out that
I'm a money guy.
the boy Reed.
Give me some.
Hey,
You know why? Because at one point, look, I'm very pragmatic. I was raised by Ken Titus. I'm very pragmatic about
who
things.
would probably be or would have been a Republican, not now.
The funny thing about my dad is that he would have probably, because Trump had the TV show, would have probably voted for him first. And then after I said, Dad, this is exactly what he's done. My dad went, well, fuck that guy. At least when Ken Titus got it, he just got it. I'm like that too. So people always go like, I've been quite successwell for, like if you looked at my grades compared to my grades, holy God, I'm super successful. However, I always look at, well, who makes the most money? Who's going to help me the most? Who's going to help the country the most? Who's going to make, and here's the thing. People say, oh, you're a libtard. You want to help everybody. Well, this is what I want to talk about today.
I do.
How everything fits together. Here's the thing. If the country does well, and if the poorest people do better, guess what? They go to comedy clubs. And if they go to comedy clubs, they actually, pay me. And if they go to comedy clubs, more comedy clubs open up. So I work more, and they buy drinks and they eat, and all the wait staff makes money, and everybody. So when everybody gets help, but I wrapped up the Armageddon update with something. You weren't here to hear it, but I wrapped it up with basically it's just low cost. Slavery's still here. It's just low cost. If you keep the minimum wage at $7.25, and it's not that, but it is that in like half the states. If you keep the wage at $7.25, that's just low cost slavery, and it's just enough money to make people skim their bills every month.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is you don't have a population that's paying attention to what's going on, or or can't afford to go to school because Reagan fucked that up too. I went through a whole list of stuff that Reagan destroyed. But I want to talk about how it all connects. So Reagan, we had
Jesus?
What?
The white Jesus.
The white Jesus, yeah. The white Bob's Big Boy haircut Jesus.
Who had no gold super glued to the walls of the White House?
I have never seen a tackier. By the way, Katie Tour pisses me off all the time. Today she said something that made me burst out laughing. She goes, why does the White House look like a fancy Thai restaurant? And I've lost my shit. I was like, wow, did you just say that on the news? That's awesome. So here we are. So I want to point something out. Let's start with USAID. And I'm going to say this again so you guys can tell people, because I know that if you're paying attention to us and you're screaming sanity on the daily, you're already watching. But you need to pass this on. USAID currently has killed, estimated, and this is the Lancet, 1.7 million people this year alone. 700,000 of those were kids under 5 who have starved or died. Because USAID helped with medicine, it helped with birth control, it helped with food, it helped with medicine, everything. Contraception, AIDS, all of this stuff, right. Early testing. We had inspectors that were on the ground checking for Ebola. USAID was a big deal. And people
Disease
go, yeah,
prevention.
But why are we giving away free shit? Why do dumb people always say that? Well, let me point out what you're missing, dumb fucks. If we actually go ahead and feed Africa, let's say we'll take a country, any country, Africa, and we go, all right, you guys, your corrupt government is shitty, can't do it, you don't have the economic base, whatever it is. So we're going to send you guys $2 billion in food, which is literally one day of the Iran war. We're going to send you $2 billion in food to help your people. So here's what happens. That country now all of a sudden needs that $2 billion, right? So their leader goes, hey, what do you guys need to know, America? China's been calling me, and we have a buddy. We have basically a buddy. It's called soft power.
I was just about to say that.
So then we have a buddy that's going to be like, hey man, keep giving us that money, but we got your back. Mm-hmm. And so we do that to 12 different countries. So instead of having this weird, crazy 12 countries full of terrorism, we've got 12 people that need us and they want us. So now China can't come in and take over those countries. Russia can't come in and take over those countries. Iran can't come in. North Korea can't come in. And we have a lock where basically we can put a base there if we need it, and we can help keep the world safe. Now, this is before dumb fucks running shit. So we've got that. That's how that works. So that's where that money was going. Now, would you rather that money be going to war, to killing American soldiers, or going to Lockheed and McDonnell Douglas and Raytheon? Or would you rather going to help some people who will always owe us? That's what I like. Now, let's go back to... let's go to taxes.
Just like Jesus.
Just like Jesus. Now let's go to what Reagan did with healthcare. So we used to have...
I do just want to say really quickly that the Lancet has compiled all of this research about the halting of USAID, and it's projected that it's going to be more than 14 million additional deaths by 2030, which will include upwards of 4.5 million children under the age of 5.
How many years is 2030 from now?
Oh, shit.
It's a little
3.5.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It sounds so far away.
So 14 million people in 3.5 years because this asshole and Elon fucking Musk went in and they killed children. Elon Musk and Donald Trump, by these numbers, are the worst mass murderers in human history.
Yep.
So there we go. Let's go there. So now let's talk about what Reagan did with healthcare. So we used to have mental care facilities in America. And basically what they did, they took care of people that were insane. We actually subsidized that because it kept them off the streets. If you remember, there wasn't a whole lot of homeless. Reagan came in the 80s and killed all of it. Took it all out. Took all the funding out for mental health. So what happened? Our homeless problem exploded. Now, Ray worked with the homeless, and what are most of them?
A large person, it's either addiction or mental health, but a very large percentage is mental health.
Right. Those hospitals also dealt with addiction too, that Reagan defunded. Okay. So now we've got a crazy homeless problem.
He started that as governor of California,
Yes.
deinstitutionalizing them because obviously they're state run and state funded. But then he became president and he cut funds and slightly altered the laws, making it nearly impossible for these hospitals to continue.
Right. So he's now cut. And by the way, this is
he
something
repealed Jimmy Carter's Mental Health Systems Act.
Exactly.
In his omnibus bill.
This is the thing that that Eisenhower expanded social programs. He was a Republican. Because what happened was Eisenhower had a sense of duty because he was a soldier. So what Eisenhower did was like, well, my job as president is to take care of the American people. And to you people out there that vote Republican, that think that I ain't giving shit away for free. Hey, asshole, it's for you too. Do you understand? Do you understand that healthcare is for you too? You're not just giving it to a bunch of libtards. You, your kids, your family, you get it. So, I don't understand why people vote against their own interests.
It's really interesting. I mean, obviously deinstitutionalization had started with other Republican politicians, but he really brought that mofo home.
Yes, he did.
He signed the Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act of 1981, which specifically repealed Carter's Mental Health Systems Act. This converted dedicated mental health funding into tinier block grants for states, which drastically reduced federal support for the community clinics that were intended to replace the state asylums they closed. Policy changes and funding cuts resulted in mass release of patients from these hospitals under Reagan, who no longer had community-based care. And today, these policy shifts are cited as the major catalyst for our systemic crisis of homelessness and untreated mental illness.
Didn't I just say this?
I know, but I feel like
didn't I just say this?
I feel like because Ken is making me collaborate on these podcast clips on Instagram. And while I never read comments, I am getting notifications watching you guys argue with each other, which is actually kind of
pretty
interesting. But I do see that people are like, oh, you're just a shill for the leftist, whatever.
You ain't funny.
Whatever.
You never was funny.
But it's, they just say, oh, you just repeat talking points. But it's actually, you can actually go find research to back everything up.
We were in bed last night. Did you happen to look over my shoulder what I was reading?
Mm-mm.
I was reading about communism and socialism and why Karl Marx would use them interchangeably and they're not. And I was reading about the difference between it because I want to make sure that we live in a capitalist system, people, and through the history of America. Well, I'm gonna keep citing Eisenhower because Eisenhower, I think, had it at its best. Although FDR did too. FDR was really great at expanding the social safety net. However, at that time, it was post-Depression, and in the Depression, we needed it. So. Here I want to go down of how the ball rolls, how the snowball keeps rolling. So Reagan cuts all the assignments, closes all the asylums we have in America, closes them. Then he cuts all the funding for mental health. And now we wonder why we have fucking crazy people on the street. Well, we used to have that. They used to be taken care of. Your fellow Americans were taken care of, like Jesus wanted. And then Reagan cut all that. So what ends up happening is now 40, 50 years later, we actually have a homeless crisis that is out of control. It tracks back to Reagan and every single fucking Republican. That being said, let's go into education. College used to be $300 a semester for anybody. Do you know why? Because in the 50s, after World War II, and we realized how many people had died in World War II, then we had Korea, then we had Vietnam. What happened was we realized, holy shit, war doesn't work. War's not good. Let's get everybody super smart. If we get everybody super smart, then we can lead the world. Kind of like China's doing right now. So Reagan comes in California because one of his advisors told him that an educated proletariat is hard to manage and hard to control. And the late 60s bears that out. Because in the 50s, everybody said, we're sending you kids to college. You're going to get educated. All these kids got educated. And in 1965, 66, 67, 68, started protesting the government because the government was raping them and sending men to their death on a daily basis. So once our government realized, holy shit, if they're smart, they're not going to war for us. If they're smart, they're not cannon fodder. If they're smart, they're not going to step in front of bullets. We can't have that. Let's cut the education budgets to all the states. So now they've slowly destroyed it, and it doesn't happen under Democrats. Democrats keep paying for education. Mamdani just paid teachers another $120 million. He put it into their budget.
Yep.
So now we've got this. Now we've got this dumb. Now it's 40 years later again, 40 something years later after Reagan, and now we have dumb motherfuckers who believe the Earth is flat.
It's like you said the other day. Why? Like, for what reason?
Yeah, what's the scam?
But it's
What's
what
the
I
grift?
told you. I have, people now in my family who are a prime example of this. It's like they aren't educated at all.
Right.
And so they go on these fringy websites and then they get to feel like they know something you don't know.
Well, they have
And
to make
it's
it up.
The craziest shit I've ever
They
heard.
have to make it up.
They're controlling the weather.
Yeah.
If I hear about that one more time.
Jewish space lasers. That was actually from someone that was in Congress.
I know.
Jewish space lasers. Not just regular space. It had got to be some racial space lasers. Had to be some weird Semitic space lasers. It's very odd. So
I do. Are we done talking about handouts? Democrats wanting.
I'm just trying to point out what the handouts do. So if we take care of the homeless and the crazy, what ends up happening is we don't have the problems we have in the streets, which means our cops can take care of you, which means the streets are clean.
Oh, they have time
which means
to take care of you.
Yeah. Which means the streets are clean. You're not getting hassled on the street, and we have a better society.
Have you mentioned medical care?
Okay, and let's go. We can do healthcare next, but I was going to do. I'm doing. Was I doing education?
Being that, just like you said about cops being able to care for us instead of dealing with all of that crime and the crazy. It's the same thing. They cut all this medical funding. Good luck getting into an emergency room.
Yep.
Because that's
Hospitals
how people
are
are going to get primary care.
Hospitals are closing in rural areas.
Yes.
So let's go to education.
Okay.
So let's say you keep it so everybody in America gets educated for $300. Let's do it like that. Okay. And I don't know when this became a bad thing, because everybody who's educated creates the next thing for us to become better, whether it's a product, whether it's a new idea, whether it's a new song, whether it's a new book that we all need to read, whether it's a new idea. So the smarter you are, the more money you can make. Well, the more money you can make, what ends up happening is then you're no longer a slave for $7.25. Mm-hmm. So if they don't have a slave for $7.25 because you're educated, no, I can actually start my own business and make my own money and hire other people. Then the corporations that are currently in charge can't keep their businesses going because they don't have anybody to work those businesses. So if you make people stupid, people get locked down forever in a stupid job forever. So when Reagan came in and he actually changed California's entire education system. So it went from $300. So this is in today's dollars, $300 a semester to $3,000 a semester. Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden you cut out all low income people. You cut out which a lot of them happen to be minorities. So you cut all those people out of education. Then when he became president did it federally. So now you got Harvard charging $200,000 for education. You've got UCLA charging $200,000, which didn't used to be able to get grants and stuff. And now nobody can be educated. So we have a bunch of dumb fucks, and we have this elite people who are educated, who own everything. Now we're going to talk about medical debt. So by the way, now if you're not educated, you end up being poor the rest of your life, panicked, and you can't fight back because you're just trying to fucking make rent. Now let's go to healthcare. The way our healthcare system works, and we're the only country out of 39, Mexico is kicking our ass in healthcare.
Mexico now has socialized medicine.
What the fuck is that? Mexico only used to kick our ass in Mexican food.
I said this in my
serapes.
new special. And cervezas and tortillas.
Tequila always kick our ass.
Oh, yeah. Avocados. We have... So on average, $12,000 per person per year, on average for basic medical health
That's what
care.
we pay.
Yes, in the United States. We are the only industrialized nation without some sort of socialized medicine. Despite that, we pay more than anyone else. Mm-hmm. We have the highest infant mortality rate, the lowest life expectancy, and the highest medical bankruptcy in the world.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to all these people who are on surface level, one level. Mm-hmm. I don't want anyone else getting free medical. Okay. Okay. But here's what happens then. So let's say we had a system where instead of me paying $12,000 out of my own pocket, we all paid $5,000 in our taxes. Sounds like a lot of money. I understand. However, if for that $5,000, you can go in and get a kidney transplant, you can go in and get your leg fixed, you can go show up to your doctors and make sure you're healthy, which makes your life expectancy go longer, which means that our infant mortality rate would actually
means you're more productive, you can work more,
right,
which means
make
you can
more
make
money,
more money.
right, and you go to school more, right. So if we had a healthcare system, the problem is the people, the owners don't, as Carlin said, I'm going to give Carlin credit for this because this kind of got me pissed. As the further I delve into this and the older and wiser I get, I'm like, holy fuck, he was so right. The owners don't want you healthy. Do you know why? And they definitely don't want to give you a system where that the government pays for your system. And by the way, I want to clear this shit up. The government doesn't pay for your health care. Your taxes do.
Right.
So you're paying for it through your taxes.
Socialized medicine is your tax
Is your taxes.
Getting you paid maternity leave for
childcare. So you can
10
work.
months instead of 2 weeks. It's getting you childcare. It's getting you that kidney transplant where you don't receive 30,000 bills for the next 3 months
Of
after.
$300,000.
And not building a $1 billion ballroom.
Right. Or a 250-foot arch.
Or
because
with
your
his
dick
name
is
on it.
so small
or
that you need a
deciding
monument.
to completely tear up the reflecting pool. Those are all our tax dollars.
Right.
Our tax dollars last year paid for a hair and makeup studio for the Pentagon. Because the Fox News host guy that's running it now into the ground, which we need to get to, needed a hair and makeup studio that has never before been needed by a SecDef. And do you know that the Pentagon is almost
He's
broke?
the Secretary
We'll get to that,
Secretary of War.
Oh,
He
I'm
is not the
sorry.
Secretary of Defense.
That's right.
He's a Secretary
Who needs
of War.
powder and lip moisturizer
and lip
before-
liner,
yeah.
and eyeliner to make sure he looks good. And by the way, are his cheekbones highlighted enough to really pop? I hope so, because he's the Secretary of War and we need him pretty.
Yeah.
So let's go to education. So we go to healthcare now.
Real quick, before we leave healthcare, this episode brought to you by AG1, because
Yes.
he ain't going to take a break today, I can tell. You're going to need it because...
Had it this morning.
You have it every day. So do I. I had it this morning too, because I thought I've been sick and I have been taking it, because you know when you're sick you just forget stuff and you get off your routine, and today I thought I should be doing that. I've been off for a few days.
72 vitamins and minerals.
Over 75.
75.
Vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, prebiotics, probiotics.
Right. Adaptogens.
Superfoods, antioxidants. It's 1 scoop, 8 ounces of water, and you're done. You don't have to take all those vitamins in your cabinet anymore, those expensive probiotics. Until last week, use this literally every day. I have my special mix. You have your special mix. I do mine with colostrum and the workout colostrum chocolate version. I mix it all together. Collagen and creatine.
That's what's great about it, because AG1 on its own is great. On its own is perfect. So what I've done, because we've been using it for a long time now, so I started going, well, why don't I just add my creatine into it? So I'm getting so I put in 10 grams of creatine. And then I was reading about turmeric and what it does, and a little bit of black pepper to activate the turmeric. I put that in. Then I put a little bit of honey, because honey's supposed to help. And then I do a juice of a lemon.
Yeah, you have a whole.
Do juice of a lemon, and I'll tell you what, I have had this happen. I get up in the morning. I use a little bit of warm water. I don't use cold water, ice cold water, because it's supposed to help your gut, but within 30 minutes, I'm like, oh, I'm alive and ready to deal with the day. I'm alive.
It's going to help you maintain energy. It's going to support your gut health. That's why it was created. And it's going to support your immune health, which we need more than ever, because our government is not warning us about anything anymore. AG1 is actually clinically shown. There, you keep this in the lab constantly. I'm always reading, because I subscribe to it. So I get emails about their new formulation. They're always like upping the ante with it. It's clinically shown to support gut health and fill in those common nutrient gaps. Go to drinkag1.com/Titus. You'll get the free AG1 travel case. This is a new deal with 7 free AG1 travel packs in the welcome kit with your first AG1 subscription order while supplies last. That's drinkag1.com/Titus. And it's the number 1 when you spell that out.
It's so good.
It's incredible.
It is. It has added. It has added to my quality of life. I'll say
I
that.
felt better about 20 or 30 minutes after I thought to do that this morning, because I've just been like in bed and dealing with, as you call them, my carry-on bags under my eyes.
They're
and
small.
It was a compliment. Yesterday, they were Louis Vuitton bags, he told me. He's got a new one every day. It's ladies know, you know how fun that is when you feel bad, and they are amusing themselves. I actually brought a hat today to try and hide it.
You really can't see it though.
But I decided
you're hypersensitive to it.
My eyes are more closed because of the swelling, and I can see my face out of my eyes, and it's really weird.
I know that feeling when you can look down. I can now see my cheeks. Okay. That's not okay.
Unless it's my butt cheeks, and that would be super sweet.
It is super sweet.
Whoa, what's that on my shoulder? Okay, you're done with healthcare.
Healthcare and education. So education,
Okay.
and dumber people who can't make enough money, so they suffer in poverty and they go bankrupt. I wasn't done with healthcare because healthcare like this. So let's say you do get something wrong with you, right? We just found out that my uncle, a man I love dearly, is just, here's how bad our medical system is. And by the way, our system is for profit, which means that they're always looking for how do they make the most money? Mm-hmm. Whereas a nationalized healthcare system would be for health, not for profit. So my uncle's in his 80s, and they found a small growing thing, prostate in 24. Mm-hmm. The doctor said, "Don't worry about it, man. It's too small to test right now. Your prostate will grow slow."
That's what happened to my mom.
A year and a half later, it is the most aggressive form, and they did nothing for it, and now they're going to have to hit it with harder stuff. Because, by the way, it's a lot more expensive. It's a lot more profit for them to wait till it's a problem and then throw everything at it than it is to fix it when it's cheap to fix. So why the fuck would we have a healthcare system in a capitalist society that actually benefited the people when the corporate assholes can make more money by actually letting you get sick? I just got this. Holy shit. They let you get sicker and sicker and cancer, sicker.
Right? That we can cure anything. I mean, science is incredible, but it's not lucrative for them to cure it. Cancer is a multi-billion-dollar business.
Right. However, this is why I want to hear people that go, "I got cancer. What'd you do?" "I went to Mexico and they cured it." I've heard that. We have a friend that had that happen. So now we've got sicker people who now not only are they giving you the most expensive procedure because they waited so long to cure you, you have to pay for it now. So you're in your 80s, all that money you earned in your lifetime, all that house that you suffered for 30 years to pay off, all that money in your retirement account, guess what? Now gets handed over to the medical business, gets handed over to the pharmaceutical companies.
And then you die.
And then you die broke, which means you didn't leave your kids anything. No generational, because you can't, you got to keep the slaves in order, man. You got to keep the $7.25 an hour slaves fucking doing their jobs. And if they had money, they wouldn't have to. Instead of transferring all that wealth to your kids, where they could have started a new business or done whatever with it, you basically now you're bankrupt now. You died bankrupt after an entire 80-year life of busting your ass because the system is set up to fuck you over.
Do you understand that? Our medical bankruptcy is higher than Mexico.
We're in the world. We're the number one in the world.
I know. I said that. I'm just
Mexico.
Making an illustration that Mexico has socialized medicine now.
So the system, so when all you guys are bitching about people getting free shit, immigrants bring in $7 trillion every 10 years and $1 trillion in taxes. That's $800 billion a year that immigrants brought to America. And guess what? They pay taxes, but don't get benefits. Now you keep hearing they do, but they don't. So this word communism that all the GOP is throwing out right now is a scare word. And by the way, it goes back to the 50s. Are we still this fucking stupid?
I do just want to also point out that Ronald Reagan granted the largest mass legalization to unauthorized immigrants in U.S. history.
12 million.
He signed the Immigration Reform and Control Act, the IRCA, in 1986. It granted legal status or amnesty to 3 million, between 2.7 and 3 million undocumented immigrants who had lived
I
here.
thought it was more than that. It was only 3 million?
2.7 to 3.
Oh my God! What about did it make it easier
But that was
citizenship? All of them?
undocumented.
So documented, they became citizens, right?
Yeah, he gave them amnesty because even he, saw that benefit, and it's a massive benefit. And they pay into. I just had to do a continuing education class for CASA, and I chose one of my credits to be the immigration system under Trump and how it's adversely affecting youth in the foster system. And it was really awful. But really learning about how much it is costing us to deport these people, not just the physical deportation, but also the Social Security that they were paying into, the Medicare that they were paying into while they were trying to go through the process of getting citizenship. Yes, they were assigned a Social Security number that they used to pay taxes that they were not eligible to get benefits from.
The food they were producing.
Yeah.
The lower end work that needed to be done that they were willing to do is now not getting done. You got businesses fucking can't find workers. And guess who's not doing the work? White people are not coming in. White people aren't walking out into a cabbage patch and going, all right, we're going to start picking. We're only going to do this 12, 14 hours, right? And then we're done. So it's across the board. This guy's doing the dumbest shit based on one idea. Racism. It's just racism, and if you can hate immigrants in a country, and I'll say this again, I say it on stage, designed by immigrants, built by immigrants, founded by immigrants, become the number one nation in the world because of immigrants, and you fucking hate immigrants, even though your family at one point was immigrants, get the fuck out of my country. You don't understand what America was built on. You don't understand America, period. So we can see that all this shit that they're cutting has caused all these other problems. And I remember when Reagan did this, I remember them saying that there was going to be a huge homeless explosion now, and they're going to be crazy. And that's exactly what we have now. Then we started. So we're not a communist country. No one's a communist. Socialism, no, we're capitalist. However, we do believe to keep the capitalist system working, we should do, what Jesus and the Bible says. Help others. They don't. They can't seem to. They can't. I'm a Christian. Well, let's help the homeless. Fuck you. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It actually, I said this to you today because you were talking about handouts, and I said, well, I do believe.
Oh, you're talking about medical stuff. Yeah. Did Jesus?
In general, I believe in handouts because that's what Jesus did.
That's what I was saying. Jesus didn't go like this. Didn't go, I want to heal your blindness. However, fill this
copay.
It's a copay.
PPO or
nope, sorry.
HMO.
Keep bumping into walls, fucker. Sorry, can't do it. God bless you.
Lazarus. You're out. Stay straight. You were talking about the, they all say, because that's what Trump and all of his racist people pump up, meaning the leaders that he has put into positions of power that, speak to news channels and on the Hill and whatever. They all talk about people scamming. It's all about the scam, the Social Security scam, the election scam, it's all the others.
And they'll be mad.
Scamming.
They'll be mad like, oh, there's this mother. She was supposed to get $350 a month, but she actually changed some things and she gets $600 a month now. Oh my God. She needs to go to prison. And yet we have Rick Scott. Bring up Rick Scott. Rick Scott did the biggest Medicare fraud in history, and he's currently still in office. And it wasn't $600 a week. How much was it?
Well, but also Donald Trump just made $1.3 billion on his own crypto in violation of the Constitution while he's in office. And y'all are upset about one person getting twice the Social Security benefits to total like $1,200 in Georgia. Nobody gives a shit about the billion. What about Musk? How much does Musk pay
38
in corporate taxes?
But let's talk
Go
about
look what Carnival Cruise Lines pays in corporate taxes. I'm sorry, they
0.
don't pay.
It's
They
0.
get money back. Exxon, Chevron,
billions.
You're going to be really upset.
Yeah. So when you're mad that some mother of a single mother with a kid, for some reason, filled out a form and claimed one extra person and got $300 extra a month, I get it. Listen, none of that should be legal. However, when you're complaining that people are, quote, getting free shit, and Elon Musk got $38 billion in all his businesses from the government. You guys don't know this. He keeps saying he's a genius.
The handouts.
He got $38 billion over through all the businesses. And he's got government contracts up the yin yang. So Exxon, and guess who's not getting a lot of subsidies, except in China. Solar companies, wind companies. China just opened up this solar plant, and that actually, you want to hear how many people it serves? Solar plant. 170,000 homes are now powered because of it. We're getting our ass kicked.
You know, it's like what we were saying is that if people commit a crime, we're not saying that they shouldn't go through the legal process and possibly pay fines or restitution or go to jail or whatever. We're for that. I just hate the false equivalency. And I do believe in helping people that need it. And if you're a Christian, you should too. And, you know,
but it's going to make your life
guy on the mat whose 4 buddies, you know, were late to the Jesus rally in Capernaum and had to dig a hole through the ceiling of the building and lower him down
to get healed.
I'm sure they were late because he's fucking heavy. It's a dude on a mat and they got to walk. They don't have cars.
I love that you just lay, like,
they didn't have shoes either.
And
it was like,
we can say this: Trump's never healed anybody.
It's the Middle East. It was hot. They're sweat. I mean, okay, so they're late to the Jesus rally. They commit.
What book is this? What book is it? Do you know what this is? Do you remember what
it's actually mentioned, I think, in Mark and Ephesians.
Okay, Mark and Ephesians. Okay,
but
they cheated the system.
They committed Medicare fraud.
by dropping a guy through the roof so Jesus could heal him.
Yes.
And what Jesus do? He was
because people got there, you know, like the Cure, they waited overnight in line to get in, and they got in and got in the mosh pit and then, you know, in the regular seats. And these guys dug through the ceiling and dropped them in. And Jesus was astounded by the faith of his friends who did that. And, but then kind of threw a little shade when he told him to pick up his mat and go home. Yeah. Made him carry his mat out.
Yeah, by the clean shit.
And you know, his legs were probably atrophied at
You're
that point.
You're healed, walk, take your mat.
Get out of the mosh pit. I'm doing a show.
But that's my favorite Jesus. Pragmatic Jesus. I love pragmatic Jesus.
But that's, so if you're a Christian, then the thing about the Republican Party to me that makes me absolutely insane as someone who was raised by a real life Christian in action and deed and love.
Constant.
And that my mom was raised by my grandma Jean, who at 89 with cancer was still delivering Meals on Wheels to the old people.
Who were 10 years younger than she was.
Let's motor. And I'd get in her car and she'd floor it from house to house. And I mean, that's what I was taught true Christianity and faith were. And this is beyond the pale what I see. And nothing you guys say aligns.
That makes
nothing.
Any sense. No.
Yes, we believe in handouts for the poor, the needy, the sick. Yes, we absolutely do. And if people commit crimes, we
go to jail.
We go Old Testament. I mean,
yeah. And whoever it is, no matter how much money you fucking have. You know,
exactly. So Rick Scott, you asked me to look it up. CEO and founder of Columbia HCA, which was the center of the absolute in all history, largest healthcare fraud case in the United States history. Scott never personally charged with a crime. Interesting. The company itself, companies are people, pleaded guilty to 14 felonies and agreed to pay a record $1.7 billion in federal fines and penalties for systematically defrauding Medicare and Medicaid.
How much did they make, though? How much was the defraud?
Let's find out. The settlement was 1.7 billion. He resigned in 1997. I do. Despite this sweeping scandal under his watch, Rick Scott walked away with a massive severance package. He retained $300 million plus in stocks and took additional millions in cash.
So
he also invoked his Fifth Amendment right when he was deposed.
So the fine was in the billion. The fine. That's not what they stole.
Correct.
The fine.
He then ran for governor of Florida in 2010 because why not? And got elected, served 2 terms, and then got elected to the Senate in 2018.
Tall white man. That's why.
Largest healthcare fraud in U.S. history.
Right.
I'm trying to find
So why don't we? So what are we doing? So what are we doing? Claiming, quote unquote, welfare. Reagan called them that, welfare queens. That were making an extra. They signed something, made an extra $200 for the month, and yet Rick Scott, not only did he steal from our government insanely, he then ran for governor. What the fuck? If you can't see that this system is so broken that it needs to be torn down and rebuilt, then you're blind.
Okay. So the $1.7 billion fine was not arbitrary. It was calculated by the DOJ to claw back the money that the company unlawfully took, plus civil penalties and damage. So they, $356 million explicitly stolen via cost report fraud, $225 million used for illegal doctor kickbacks, more than $100 million in non-allowable corporate reorganization costs that they hid inside the Medicare bills.
So this is Rick Scott's company doing it that he was head of.
So that restitution was
the total
to pay back, but
he walked with $300 million
in stock, plus millions in cash. And to show how intentional the overbilling was, because he said it was oopsie, the federal investigators found that Columbia HCA kept 2 different sets of accounting books. He was the CEO. The company created a secret internal reserve account that actually grew to $1 billion. They specifically put this money aside to pay back the government in case federal auditors
got busted
their inflated Medicare charges.
So they made all their profits on the way and had so much money, they put the fine aside.
When the government and Medicare failed after several years to notice it, what the prosecutors from the DOJ showed, how they knew it was intentional, they quietly folded the $1 billion slush fund back into corporate profits to pay themselves at the end of the year.
So they all walk with it. So all the money got. So he walked with $300 million plus cash. I hope he learned his lesson. I hope that he knows to not do that again.
Susan Collins is very concerned. Susan Collins needs to tighten those elbow flaps. This episode brought to you by Fitbod. I don't know what her elbow flaps look like, to be honest.
They're horrible.
I just needed
I'm concerned.
a second.
I've seen her elbow flaps, and I am concerned for Susan Collins.
I'm concerned about my under eye flaps. Fitbod is such a part of
my life.
Yeah, our home, because it has changed his health and energy and motivation and guns so much.
Abs.
When I met him, he had little noodles. He was so cute, though. Oh my gosh, he was so cute. He would wear his little short sleeve button up car shirts, you guys know from the TV show. And I just remember he had the pointiest bowling shirts. He had the pointiest little elbows that would stick out. I just thought you were so cute.
Yeah, you married Olive Oil at that point.
Now I got Popeye.
Yeah,
thanks, Fitbod.
Yeah, thanks, Fitbod.
It's an app. It uses AI. It's developed and fine-tuned by personal trainers, people who are actually trained and educated in putting these workouts together. None of us, if we all sat here together at the same time, would get the same workout.
Nope.
It's specifically geared towards what you say you want, your goals, what you say you have equipment-wise. And it really is interesting. It helps you hit every muscle group by the end of the week.
Yep.
And then it'll tell you what percentage of each body muscle group you hit. And then because you've been doing it so long, it uses AI to build on each week. It builds on your progress. So now he had to do 60 burpees yesterday.
I had to do 3 sets of 20 burpees yesterday, and I came home and I go, "Hun, is 60 burpees a lot?" And she goes, "Yes." I'm like, "Well, what am I getting to?" So just so you know, at the beginning of Fitbod, which I started 2.5 years ago, in November will be 3. I want you guys to know something. We've been, so for like, I don't know what the price is now, $69, $79, whatever it is. It's less than 1 training session with a trainer for the year. Here's what it did for me. My body fat composition is down by about 8%. I am 190 now. I was, when I started Fitbod, I was 195. Doesn't sound like I lost a lot of weight.
Muscle.
However, my muscle, I mean, I have abs and lines that I didn't have before, right?
Yes.
And
abs and lines,
I
believe is the technical term.
Abs and lines. I got what's deadline? I got triceps. And I feel healthier. And
you're more energetic. You're more motivated.
Yes, I'm way more motivated. But let's take this. So the one thing that why people get hurt when they get older is because they fall down and they break a hip. Why would they break a hip? Well, because you'd stopped working out and there's no more muscle to protect those bones. Fitbod, what it does is whether you're 20 or whether you're 80, you start working out with Fitbod, what's going to happen is you're going to build that tissue around your bones, which is padding. And I can actually back this up. I fell down the stairs. Well, I fell down. I did that stupid thing where I was on the phone with Zach and I thought I was at the bottom step and I stepped off onto the floor and I was still a step up.
I did that once when I was on Molly. I was halfway down a ladder and I thought I was at the bottom and I was 6 rungs up. Yeah, I broke my ankle, but I was on Molly. I didn't know it.
See, I wasn't on Molly. I was on distracted. I was just distracted talking to Zach and we were cracking jokes. And I went off the bottom step and I had my computer and on my phone and everything went and I hit the ground hard. And in the past, I would have been worried about that. I've been like, oh shit, I'm gonna. And I did get up thinking, where am I hurt? Where am I hurt? Because I know I'm hurt. Yeah. I wasn't hurt at all. I woke up the next day not even sore because I had built enough muscle around my bones. And guys, here's the thing. Everything about your health is going to depend on how much muscle you keep. So
it's muscle and also lubricating your joints, and moving,
pumping that blood through your arteries,
stretching, your respiratory system. Like he came upstairs 3 or 4 days ago and you were done with your workout. You were in the shower. You're also like a little bit dramatic and you were like, and I was like, what did you do? It was a weight workout, but it
knows every time. Sometimes I'll look at it and I'll go, oh, that's easy. That's easy. And I'll look at my list of stuff because it gives you a list of exercise you're going to do that day. And then I get to that exercise and Fitbod has figured out how to hurt.
Yeah. But I want to be very clear. If you're new, it's not giving you 60 burpees.
Nope.
He did not start.
I started at 6.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I have 6 burpees in a
with
set.
no time limit.
Right. No.
But it's because he's kept up with it and he's entering what he's doing. It knows what he's capable of. And that's what I love about it is that it believes in you more than you believe in you.
It does, to the point where there was something yesterday. It gave me 39 of something.
Oh, 39, you did lunges.
39 leg lifts it gave me the other day. And I was like, I'm doing 30. Fuck you, Fitbod. And it was still a lot.
And they give you videos.
Yep.
If you don't know what you're doing, they give you videos. Regardless of those videos, he still calls things whatever he wants to call them. He calls
thrusters,
hip glute bridges, thrusters, I guess, because you're thrusting. So that's always fun to hear. He's like my mom in that way. It's very funny. So this summer, it's a great time to start. You can start at home. You can start with no equipment and build up maybe to go to the gym.
Bodywork exercises, by the way, the bodywork workouts will kick your ass. It's amazing.
Yeah. So push your progress, use and see what you're really capable of. Join Fitbod today. You'll get 25% off of your subscription. Or if you don't believe us, try the app totally free for 7 days at fitbod.me/Titus. That's FITBOD.me/Titus.
I can just tell you that it is, I've lengthened my life.
Yes.
Because of it.
Can I tell you, this is just something that I'm very concerned about. Hegseth is on the Hill testifying, and he's doing, of course, his lining is the American flag in his suit, and he's got the matching pocket square, and he's got his hair and makeup done thanks to
his own office,
us paying for that.
To his own makeup office.
He is testifying about the Iran war, which they have restarted again. They keep ending and restarting it
War's
to
over.
bypass
Ceasefire's
congressional.
over. War's over. Ceasefire's over. War's over. Ceasefire's over.
And even so, it's still not legal how they're doing it, but everybody just lets them get away with it. We've now lost 18 U.S. service members. He was asked on the tarmac today how he, felt about that, what he had to say to their parents. And he said, well, they put their foot down and said they didn't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. You don't either, do you? Do you? Do you want nuclear weapons?
I saw him do that today.
Like,
I saw him do that today. And I thought, how come no reporters go, hey, guys, your intelligence service said they were years from building a nuke.
But also, we're talking about 18 dead kids, essentially, who didn't have to die.
Nope.
We still don't know.
He started a war for no reason. Also, do you remember when he...
take a fucking second and say something about those 18 people that just gave their lives.
But here's how easy it is. But you'd have to have some sort of humanity. He doesn't have any. Again, let's go back. Jeffrey Epstein said, he's the most evil person I have ever met, and I've met some very dark people. Jeffrey Epstein said that. So let me say this. All it would have taken is this. As always, when America loses a service member, especially someone who put their selves on the line for this amazing country, we all must take a moment and mourn. That's all he had to say. But here's how bad not just he is, but everybody around him.
Oh,
nobody handed him that. No one goes, "Hey man, say this," so you don't look like an asshole.
Would have already met with them.
He'd have cried. He'd have cried and sang.
Bush. They met with the people's families. Right. So what we now know is that we are running out of petroleum reserves. We are running out of defense interceptors, and the Defense Department is running out of money.
Strategic petroleum reserves at the lowest they've ever been. Because, by the way, here's what he's doing, guys. He knows that you're pissed about gas prices. So all the strategic petroleum reserves we build up in these salt caverns where we keep all this extra oil just in case we have something horrible happens, or we have the dumbest motherfucker we've ever had as president. What he did was to keep gas prices down.
Stockpiles of crude oil.
What he did was he flooded the market with oil. And so what happens is, so we had a bunch of oil now, and now we can make it. However,
lowest level since 1983.
Yes. So now we don't have the oil to replace, and the war's continuing, and he's not negotiating.
And we still can't get
through either strait. They're going to close.
That the ones that were open before.
Yeah, that was international waters, and he pointed out. By the way, here's how dumb this guy is. He started a war with Iran. That was international waters. Everybody, it was just agreed that was international waters.
Not anymore.
And then he started a war with them, and Iran went, you know what? We could shut that down.
We are in control.
Yeah.
We have a lot more power than we thought.
Right. Thank you, President Trump.
Our stockpile of missile interceptors is so low that we cannot stop incoming Iranian ballistic missiles that are killing and injuring our American troops. They have lied and covered up the casualties and injuries.
There's over we're getting reported 18. There's over other reports are saying there's over 1,000.
We had about 2,300 Patriot missile interceptors in stock before this war. As many, low estimate, as 1,400 have been used.
Wow.
In this war we didn't need to start. That's half of our entire stockpile. Stockpiles are low all around. Al Jazeera actually put out a report today that replenishing high capability and costly weapons like the ones the U.S. has used up in Iran is going to take several years.
And yet we have Ukraine building their own drones like Frisbees. They're actually sending up thousands of drones deep into Russia. They took over their own, they started building their own shit.
We don't have money. Hegseth is on the Hill because he wants more money. Highest funded department, trillions of dollars. Military exercises and trainings that help keep our units prepared for combat are now being limited or canceled for generals
So,
told anonymously to the Washington Post.
so I want to understand what you're telling me right now. You're telling me
The budget for equipment and facility and maintenance is also drained to cover these shortfalls.
so. Did he just fucking talk to Putin and go, "Hey man, how do I fuck up a war so we just lose everything?
How do we
completely weaken
Yeah.
our own country?" Because what Putin did was he said he's going to go in Ukraine. It's going to take 3 days, and they're going to take over Ukraine. So the Ukraine war's been on year 5 now. It's year 5 now, right? And finally, Ukraine's got enough balls, money, and backup to fucking start really blowing the shit out of Russia. Moscow's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've got Donald Trump, who's drained our military to the point we can't even defend ourselves. On the other side of the world, we got China, who's got everything they need. What if someone decides to get froggy, and then we've got the worst fucking idiot we've ever had as president? What the fuck? Like, do you see like the path? Remember, world wars don't start on Thursday, but the path this idiot is set for us, we're fucked. We're super fucked. And we've got diarrhea lettuce.
And I know, I got to get some of that.
Maybe it'll drain the bags.
I want my hot girl summer. I got to get some diarrhea lettuce.
I love that you just open up a spa and it's just in a closed down Chipotle for health reasons.
No, you just need one. He spent all day today and yesterday doing that weird, repeating the same line, boasting about how we're winning the war. No one's ever seen anything like it.
Yes, we have.
U.S. is number one. And they're not saying, why the war? It's not because of nuclear weapons.
No, it's because of the Epstein files. The entire war was started because of the Epstein files. You do remember at that time, that was right around the time Pam Bondi was getting fired because everybody was really talking about the Epstein. Remember, she got her ass handed to her and they had the survivors behind her and she wouldn't even look at them.
Yes.
So the Epstein files became this major thing. So he attacked Iran. And currently, they've just been told by a judge as of 2 weeks ago, you have to release the Epstein files unredacted, and they have not. The DOJ said, nope. And guess what happened? Nothing.
Nothing ever happens.
And what do the Republicans do? Nothing.
So,
of course, what the Democrats do.
If you look at
Nothing.
our military strikes, they've been focused primarily on Iran's leadership. If any of the attacks targeted Iran's nuclear infrastructure. Using U.S. classified assessments, Reuters reported that Iran's nuclear capabilities are largely unchanged since this time last year.
Which Hegseth got jammed up on the hill. I was watching it, and he kind of starts hemming and hawing. Well, we sunk their navy. I mean, except for their fast boats. And he starts listing these other ships that didn't say, and there's some there's boats with machine guns on them. We didn't sink those. And he starts listing all the shit. So we've destroyed their navy totally, except for all these parts of their navy that we didn't destroy.
And here was the other thing too. He did his dumbass press conference thing where he declassified a bunch of documents because he's just trying to sow doubt in our elections.
We got to talk about this.
Safety and security. He has gutted CISA, which we should talk about as well.
That's why it's on my list.
Okay, good, because I have a tab open. So it's on my list too.
Yeah. We're like this, man. We're just fucking like, it's just like fucking click. Best buddies, would you say?
What was I talking about?
CISA?
I'm so confused. I sidelined into CISA, but I had a point about
election fraud, the DOJ.
I know. He did his shippity dip speech last week.
About election fraud.
Declassified documents after saying China interfered in our election, and then declassified documents that said that Russia was trying to prevent Biden from getting elected.
God, by the way, part of me has this thing, and we've seen it over and over. Whenever
that's what it feels like.
Whenever he does so, I'm coming out with this, and I used to be like, oh shit, and now I go, it's gonna fuck up. Because he can't do it right. So they declassified all these documents, and it basically said that Russia got involved and went after Biden and not him. I want to talk about this really quick. My point being,
his own official.
Chris Krebs,
No.
the guy that ran the election in 2020.
Outside of the White House.
Oh,
Right
that was
after
today,
the
yeah.
Speech
One of the guys
said
so
that
we have absolutely no evidence
U.S.
that China,
intelligence has zero evidence.
no intelligence agency has any evidence that China, Russia, or anybody or Venezuela changed any votes. And then the woman gets in and goes, you guys, they can't talk anymore. And he goes, so you're saying that there is no fraud? And he goes, we're not totally done with our investigation yet. So
She rushed him right the hell up.
So after the president came up on stage and said, by the way, I asked Ken this morning when I got here, I was like, Ken, this morning, I was here at 2:00. Well, I asked Ken, I go, what's the point? You got elected again. Why would you continue to bitch about something that happened in 2020 that you lost 65 court cases about, that you had cyber ninjas go in and they counted for 3 months and they found more votes for Biden? Explain to me why you would continue to bitch about that. I have a theory. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, I was trying to find this guy's name.
Here's the theory.
Okay.
What's about to happen, Trump's literally has the lowest approval rating right now than pretty much any president we've ever had. He's upside down so far, it's crazy. He's not doing anything to fix prices. He's not doing anything to fix oil. He's not doing anything to stop the war. You know what he's doing? He's draining the reflecting pool that he fucked up. The man should not be in charge of pool maintenance. And he's in charge of a country.
He is super gluing plastic gold on
Jesus Christ.
every surface.
I've never seen the White House. He's white trashed the White House to the point where, it's disgusting. You know what it is? We should do a White House remodel because it's going to need it when he leaves. When he leaves. So
when he leaves,
he's not leaving. That's why he's building the bunker.
John Solomon, he's the Trump-appointed special government employee brought into work on election material declassification, said to Von Hilliard, you can go watch this video, that no votes were changed in the 2020, 22, or 24 elections. When asked about the accuracy of 2020 results, he said he's still researching.
So then Chris Krebs, who was fired by the Trump administration after that, said it was the safest election that we've ever had in 2020. So here's my theory. We've got the midterms coming up. He's going to lose. The Republicans are going to lose. They're actually predicting that it looks like the Republicans could lose the Senate too. So instead of actually doing now, and by the way, you wouldn't lose if you just did the right thing for the American people. If you were actually working for us, you wouldn't lose. We would keep you in. They've gerrymandered and rigged the system so hard now that it's almost impossible to get rid of incumbents. You know, Republican districts are now they're like squiggle. There's that one Donald Duck district that's all driven just where Republicans live. So, and the Supreme Court's got his back. And the Republicans, by the way, our Supreme Court, or at least 6 of the people on the Supreme Court, are pro-pedophilia, pro-rape. They're pro-corruption, pro basically having a unitary executive. I think what's happening is that they are, and he's demanding voter rolls from all the states. And states that don't give him voter rolls, they get their funding cut. So that's illegal.
It's called SAVE, Systematic Alien Verification for Entitlements.
But aliens
they are telling states that they will only receive resources if they hand over voter rolls to be screened through a new federal database that a judge recently said was unlawful.
It's unlawful and against the Constitution. So here's what I think is happening. He has to bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch about election fraud, right? Mm-hmm. Even though he won, even though the one election he was in charge of was the one that he says was rigged. The one election that Trump was in charge of, his administration ran that election.
Yeah, no, he said
that's the one that's rigged.
Biden's election and Obama's elections were good.
So Biden was elected legally.
No. Under Biden's administration, the election.
That was fair.
That was fair
and
because he won. Under Obama, the election that was run.
But under his, when he was in charge,
and he was running it, and he hired and appointed everyone to ensure that it was safe. Yes.
And then he won again, and he's still bitching about that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's why he's doing it.
Okay.
Because what started happening was our friends over at Election Truth Alliance have been starting to get there's been a little bit of movement on people noticing that, wait a minute, how did Kamala Harris lose 3 million votes in Florida? How come there's districts where people voted down ballot, everybody Democrat, but for some reason the president, they voted Republican? So people are looking into that now.
Because people that vote all down ballot Democrat really wanted Trump.
They really wanted Trump. Yeah, exactly.
I've met so many of those people.
Nice way to put it. So I think what's happening is they are going, and he's trying to get all the machines. He's trying to outlaw mail-in voting, but mail-in voting gets counted twice. It gets counted when it's open by hand, and then it gets fed into the machine. So here's the problem with that. If the mail-in voting, that's why he lost in 2020 because of COVID. So and I know we've talked about this before, but I want people to really, really get this in your brain. He hates mail-in voting because mail-in voting is not cheatable. You cannot cheat it. You have to count it by hand, and it gets counted twice. However, machine voting is counted in the machine. So if you have a piece of code and all the ENS machines, Dominion machines, most of the voting machines were updated with a de minimis update. Why do they call it a de minimis update? And you can talk to, this is stuff that Nathan said from...
or go back and watch the first.
Yeah. De minimis update means it's 1 or 2 lines of code. Well, one of the guys in Doge said that you could literally, Musk said it. It's actually in the Armageddon update. You could actually change the voting machines with just a simple line of code. And I read a whole bunch about how to do it. So people are starting to look into the 2020, the 2016, and the 2024 election specifically. And that's why Trump's starting to get loud about election fraud. Because now, when it comes out that he fucking stole 2024, he can say, I've been saying that the whole time. And then he can't get busted. I've been claiming election fraud. I told you it was happening. They just did it for me. I don't know who did it. Well, how would I know? That's what he always does. What did he say yesterday was like that? I don't know. Oh, the Tates. Oh, Tristan. What's
Andrew.
Andrew and Tristan Tate got arrested. Did you now? Everything else aside, they're getting accused of being a rapist and human trafficking and choking women out and raping them. That's what they're being accused of. They're getting extradited to the UK. Did you see the outfit? I think the biggest offense to me was his outfit.
The purple
was Andrew Tate. Did you see with the short with the capri pants and the tuxedo shoes? The fuck! I have never seen. I was like, that's a man. That's the guy who's a bro. That guy dressed like that is.
He actually is dressed like Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
There's someone actually pointed on Threads. They did a picture of Blanche from the Golden Girls in the same outfit. She's in the same outfit. So Blanche Tate got arrested, and he's going to be extradited to the UK. Good. God bless. Because they skated by in Romania. And
Trump already helped them once.
Oh, man. Well, they're friends with Barron. He's friends with Don Jr. Another thing. Isn't it weird that the Trump family seems to do a lot of buddying with sex traffickers?
Really bad people. It feels like just the basic stuff that our parents taught us when we were growing up. Like, you are the company that you keep. Be careful of who you choose to surround yourself. It's just like basic common sense is just gone.
Basic right and wrong. Yeah. That's what I keep saying all the time. Right. It's not right or left. It's right and wrong.
I can promise you that if I met Jeffrey Epstein once, I would not hang out with him ever again. No. Ever.
No, you'd have got the creepy vibe so fast.
Become best friends with him. So you're telling me Jeffrey Epstein in a sworn statement at deposition on video says, we've been best friends for over 10 years. Best friends means you spent a lot of time together. Right. And he had no idea that he was at minimum a sleaze bag.
Hold on. This was reported this week. There are payments, over 4,700 payments to Jeffrey Epstein from Donald Trump in the records. Now, Donald Trump had 3,500 lawsuits because of vendors he didn't pay. These are people that did shit for him. Donald Trump doesn't fucking pay. He didn't pay E. Jean Carroll for how many years?
Yeah.
So but he paid Jeffrey Epstein on time, every time. What was Jeffrey Epstein providing, or what was he demanding that he never missed a payment to Jeffrey?
Well, it's interesting. We now know what Jeffrey Epstein did for a living. So this is what I mean. I don't understand why they can't put things together. You guys demanded the Epstein files be released. Mm-hmm. He really helped trigger that.
Yeah, he
thinking
ran on
he
it.
would never have to do
Ran
it.
on it.
Because he absolutely does not expect you to read, and you should be fucking offended by that he goes and does a speech and says that China has been interfering in our elections, trying to stop him from winning, and
Then
fully depends on you not going to read what actually gets released that says Russia was trying to help him get elected.
He actually released that.
But it's his reliance on people being stupid and just believing what he says.
Right. But here's the thing about that. Those people are. Here's the thing about that. What you and I can't wrap our minds around, and this is why we've been frustrated for 10 years now, is because we can see it. You and I are educated. We've read. We keep up with stuff because of comedy. Look, I didn't pay attention in school, but once I started doing comedy, I have to be accurate. So I would read everything. You are very smart. Your college degree. You and I, once you start having critical thinking and you understand that you get to make your own decision on what things are, that's harder. You have to think, you have to read, you have to research, right? That's work.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers would rather go play video games, go play Halo in their basement and listen to what Trump says and go, what's what he said? They're dumb. Mm-hmm. They're dumb and they don't want to be wrong. But here, so instead of just accepting the facts as they are, they've decided to stay wrong. I'm going to stay wrong because it's what goes back to what you said about some of the people in your family. Yeah, I just know more than you. You go by more than you. You don't know. You don't fucking know. You don't know. By the way, the Illuminati and the deep state make sure all this goes, man. And by the way, the Earth spins like a frisbee. It ain't a globe. You know why? You know why? Because the globalists, the globalists need to keep it a globe. You can't call it a flat earthalists, because that would be different. So there's got to be the globalists, but it's really a flat earth.
For what?
Exactly. For what?
No,
exactly.
I'm asking.
Because in the flat earth, there's a basement full of pedophiles.
Oh,
and Satan in the flat earth. Yep. You don't know. Hey, man, listen, believe what you want. But by the way, my eyes are open. You got TDS. Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah.
That oddly sounds exactly like comments on the clip from last week.
It does. Could you do me a favor?
I just want you guys to know on July 9th, he fired 2 of the 3 people from CISA, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency.
Hold on. Wait.
Election security
Wait.
staff.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait, you're telling me that he's been claiming that there's election fraud and the election's rigged. And so the first thing to do when you think something's shaky, you fire the people that make sure that things are on the up and up.
The only federal agency devoted solely to helping local election officials prepare for the midterms. The other thing that's terrifying about CISA is part of its title is infrastructure. So CISA is also helping protect our grid. Mm-hmm. They're the ones responsible for cyber threats.
Right. So when Russians can hack in or China hacks in and shuts down.
The people from the Pentagon who were
this
monitoring cyber.
Yeah. Do you see how this feeds into my theory?
Yes.
So basically, and this is cybersecurity, which means cyber. People kept saying that none of these machines have modems or anything. Well, Nathan from Election Truth Alliance said, no, that's not true. They have to have modems, and they actually are all connected by Bluetooth and Wi-Fi because that's how they transmit their data. So if you put a de minimis update in and you have a couple lines of code that changes how the machine reads the votes, Trump even said it. We put it in the Armageddon update where he goes, yeah, you vote for Trump and then it changes the vote to Biden. Why would he say that? Why would he say that with no proof? Because he knows that's what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And so what he's doing is he's getting out ahead of it. So when it comes down, because people are now looking into this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why so here's my problem. Now, we beat up on the Trump administration up and they deserve it. Again, I want to know about the diarrhea lettuce. How did the diarrhea lettuce happen? Because I like lettuce. And I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to run from a killer right now, and I don't know what.
I'm not. I'm looking for you, DL. I'm trying to find you.
Yeah.
It's E. coli, salmonella, it's all that.
But how did we get here? Because because we have RFK running our HHS. He's. You need to have a little bit of diarrhea all the time to make your health. It kills the brainworms if you have diarrhea.
The FDA has linked specific cases to shredded iceberg lettuce supplied by Taylor Farms.
No, that got debunked. They actually had to issue an apology. By the way, people, I need you to go this week.
Well, no, they did a recall, is what I'm saying. Taco Bell was using that lettuce, so you might not have noticed a difference.
So that's why everything's exactly how it always has been.
But they did. They did try to walk back. The FDA did try to walk back, saying lettuce was the source of the explosive diarrhea outbreak. Taco Bell started selling $1 lettuce free in Churritos to quell the diarrhea parasite backlash.
By the way, our food is giving you explosive diarrhea. We're going to actually take the one element out of the food because our food always, by the way, their food always gives you explosive diarrhea, pretty much.
Cyclospora outbreak was linked to iceberg lettuce in 5 states.
But isn't it also because didn't he cut all the inspectors? Like, don't we have,
yes.
He cut all the inspectors.
But they also aren't reporting. They got rid of the CDC report that doctors and veterinary doctors, all types of doctors relied on every week.
To see what was coming down the pike?
Stopped it all. Yes.
Okay, so, and here's what makes me angry about what we've all talked about today. We're not hearing any of this from Hakeem Jeffries, from Chuck Schumer. We're not hearing any of the Democrats get up and start banging fucking podiums and throwing shit through windows. They're just shutting up. In fact, the Democrats are actually going after Mondami, which is crazy to me. The centrist Democrats are saying that Mamdani is like he should be doing what he's doing. You mean doing everything for the people every day?
Yes. They don't like that.
They don't like that. Do you know why? Because it makes them have to work now. If Mamdani can go to one of the biggest worldwide cities, like one of those amazing cities in the world, and fix it, but you guys can't seem to make it work. Schumer, Hakeem, you guys can't do anything for the people. You guys can't seem to get your shit together enough to get us healthcare. You can't get your shit together enough to actually help the American people. You're great at bitching about it. Elizabeth Warren, you guys are all great at getting on mic. The fuck are you actually doing?
Yeah.
And this is where I'm starting to really see, I don't know if it's my age or what, but I really see, I remember Carlin. I'd watch Carlin when I was younger and be mad. Now I watch Carlin like, preach! like you came down from the mountaintop, Moses. I think we are in a deep shit place right now, you know. And I think the Democrats, we need to, you know, we should do, because the pendulum always swings back farther. And I've said this before. I think we need to go batshit and elect a bunch of people that have the same beliefs as Mamdani, and then we can all get health care and everything. And let's see how that works out. I'm sure there's going to be problems. I'm sure it's going to go sideways in its own weird way. However, at least on the way, we'll be healthy.
It's so interesting, too, that there's just such a thread of cruelty, just abject cruelty in all directions towards the weaker.
It's an interesting way to put it. Yes.
What you do unto the least of us, you do unto me.
Right.
And you look at a lot of these Republican candidates, a lot of them are election deniers because, you know, they're kissing his ass. There's also like really gross behavior, like sexual inappropriateness.
How many more?
Allegations of domestic violence. You've got Ken Paxton, who's vacationing in the UK with his mistress.
And he's running.
And he did a press conference today, though, and he got questioned because he's
Walked out.
voting illegally.
6 times. He's voted 6 times illegally.
He did a little hot steppity right on out of the press conference.
He left.
Like,
He walked out.
Yes.
So they busted him, guys. He's basically been voting from a residence he doesn't live at, which is voter fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Paxton is committed voter fraud. Do you understand that?
Multiple years, yeah.
For 6 years,
He
6
does not
different
live
elections.
in that house that he has left.
6 different
on
elections. He's committed voter fraud, while the president of his party says there's voter fraud. Yeah, bro, it's your guy. Your fucking guy's doing it.
He hot-footed it out.
Gotta go. Pew!
If you want to see Christopher Titus do his new show, which is absolutely incredible, you can this week on Friday, Toledo Funny Bone, on Saturday, Dayton Funny Bone, and on Sunday, the Cincy Liberty
Township. Great club. Love
Great.
that club. Sunday is going to be great, guys. They're already sold out, both first shows Friday and Saturday. Could you do me a favor? Get second show tickets. Also in Liberty Township. That one's going to go fast. And I'm taking Bombshells, getting this infection dealt with. I'm taking the youngster. Jet Titus is going to be there. And I'm going to throw him to the Wolves. The Wolves of the Midwest.
The Wolves of Toledo.
Oh, yeah. The Draftcade. Oh, there's some Wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some
I
Wolves.
always have fun.
Guys,
with it.
thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Listen, our job here is to help you scream sanity. We do not, I watch the news over and over. We're watching MSNBC. We're watching CNN. CNN is gone. CNN is gone. They're owned by right-wingers now. It's over. The only one that's actually basically kind of giving you the report is MSNBC. But between the fucking between the fucking personalities that they keep having to push instead of the facts.
I'm sure one guy looks like Prince during Purple Rain, and there's a cowboy.
There was a cowboy yesterday, and there's a purple haired like
Molly Doncaster.
yeah, she's
we're sorry, but
she's Margie from Peanuts.
Yes,
Peppermint Patty's buddy.
I always go and look at BBC, PBS.
We will try.
I have several of them. On
We
my
are
phone.
trying to stop making it about personality and make it about here are the facts. Here's what's going on. How do we stop it? Guys, keep screaming sanity. See you guys this weekend. What do we do next week?
NPR. I have
Next
NPR,
weekend?
BBC, AP,
NPR is great.
TuneIn, Apple News. And
Where's
CNN.
next week? What are we doing next week?
Oh, that's going to be
Because you're going to be working on your new shit.
And I did my new shit on Sunday at Brea. It was fun going to Brea. I won the bet again. I don't know why.
And
Mikey
by the way,
keeps giving me his money.
Thank you for Mikey and everyone at Brea, guys. What a great show. You guys were monstrous.
July 31 and August 1st, the Bend Theater in West Bend, Wisconsin. We've never been there before. Super stoked about that. And then August 2nd, the Intersection Theater in Grand Rapids, where we have been and we love.
Yep. Guys, so see you guys on the road. Come see Doom to Repeat. Rachel will be there that second week. Jed will be here this week. And the kid's getting better. He's
I will
getting
try
better.
not to have carry-on bags under my eyes.
Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Go to ChristopherTitus.com. Please keep screaming sanity for myself, the lovely Rachel Bradley, and the pups. Later.
Peace out. And for the bags, Ray Bradley on Instagram, RAERAE, and Titus Nation. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.